Now, last but not least, certainly not least, we talk about Henry Armstrong and Sugar Ray Robinson. Now, we all know that Sugar Ray Robinson is universally recognized as pound for pound the greatest fighter of all times, right? Now, can it really be possible that the greatest fighter of all times has also been accused of avoiding black fighters? It definitely is possible. Matter of fact, it's beyond possible. It is a fact that Sugar Ray Robinson, along with the great Henry Armstrong, they avoided many black fighters. Let's go ahead and get into this graphic that I have right here. Now, this is where things get very interesting. I don't even have to really break this down. I'm just going to read this article. But before I read it, I will say that historically, Sugar Ray Robinson is known for avoiding Charles Burley and Holman Williams. Now, let me go ahead and read this article right here. Burley was among a group of feared and avoided black fighters in the 1940s, referred to as the Black Murderers Row, a term coined by writer Bud Skolberg. The group included Eddie Booker, Jack Chase, Coco Kid, Burt Lytell, Lloyd Marshall, Aaron Tiger Wade, and Holman Williams. George Gainford, manager of Sugar Ray Robinson, admitted that he bypassed Burley, quote, because his style was such he would have counteracted Robinson's. He asked Ray Arcel, can't you give me someone else besides Burley? Johnny Ray, manager of Billy Conn, shouted at matchmaker Art Rooney, who proposed Burley as an opponent, no, no, no. I don't want Burley. You can have him for Christmas, for New Year's, or your Aunt Tilly's birthday, but never mention his name again, end quote. Guys, that is what I like to call a case closed. So what this basically comes down to is these emotionally attached fans, they want to use Floyd Mayweather as the scapegoat because they personally don't like Floyd. So they want to make it seem like he's the only fighter in the history of the sport that did not fight every single black fighter that was available throughout his career. You guys have to understand something. To all the detractors that can't stand Floyd Mayweather, you guys cannot have it both ways. You can't sit here and say Floyd Mayweather, he can never be considered one of the greatest because he didn't fight everyone. But then you turn around and you call Sugar Ray Robinson the greatest of all times, and he didn't fight everyone. Keyword, everyone. How many fighters do you really know in the sport of boxing that reached the top of the sport and fought everyone? I can tell you right now, not too many people. And I know how this works. I know some of you guys listening right now, you're going to say, hey, Dante, what about Muhammad Ali, a.k.a. the greatest? He didn't duck anyone. And you know what? That's pretty much true. I mean, unless there was some fighter that we don't really know about. But this is what I will say to that. What reason would Muhammad Ali have to duck anyone? All of the opponents that Muhammad Ali fought, they were all flat-footed. They were all much slower than Muhammad Ali, didn't have this fantastic jab. They weren't slick. They weren't boxers, right? No tremendous hand speed. These type of opponents were, honestly, quite frankly, tailor-made for Muhammad Ali's style. So what reason would he duck them? Why would he duck Sonny Liston, George Foreman, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton? They all had a very similar style. The only fighter that did have a fantastic jab and knew how to box and was a little slick was Larry Holmes. And we all know that Muhammad Ali was way past his prime when he fought against Larry Holmes, which he lost to. Then you had another fighter that was somewhat awkward, but he only had 7 or 8 fights at the time, and it was Leon Spink, someone that Muhammad Ali actually lost to. Understand something, guys. I'm not trying to take credit away from any of these great fighters, Sugar Ray Robinson, Ali, Hagler, I'm just stating the facts. I mean, I have a huge Muhammad Ali picture on my wall right now. The only boxing t-shirt that I've ever worn with another person's face on it is Sugar Ray Robinson. So, when it comes to Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather would have loved Muhammad Ali's opposition. He would have loved it. You have power punchers that are flat-footed coming forward, just like I told you guys earlier in this video. Floyd Mayweather said, I beat Canelo so easy because he had slow foot speed. George Foreman, Joe Frazier, Sonny Liston, Ken Norton, these guys were all slow on their feet. They didn't use foot movement. They only knew one direction, and that was forward. And that would have been perfect for someone like a Floyd Mayweather. So there would be no reason to duck these fighters. Okay? You have to keep in mind, Muhammad Ali, he didn't fight the slick fighters with speed. He didn't fight the tricky southpaws. He didn't fight the guys with tremendous foot movement and head movement and could catch you with a counter shot out of nowhere. Ali didn't fight fighters like that. All of his fighters were very similar. Therefore, he had no reason to avoid anyone. But going back to the fighters that have avoided black fighters and anyone else, like I said before, Sugar Ray Robinson is considered pound for pound the greatest fighter of all time. And we just broke it down. Even he avoided multiple black fighters. So Floyd Mayweather is pretty much doing the same thing that Sugar Ray Robinson did. Now, this is not to suggest that I don't want to see Floyd Mayweather fight black fighters. I want to see Floyd Mayweather fight whoever is at the top of the sport. Right now, we all want to see the Manny Pacquiao fight. So obviously, I want to see Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao first. And if Floyd Mayweather continues to fight beyond that point, then I would love to see Mayweather versus Keith Thurman. But if he never fights Keith Thurman, that is not going to affect his legacy. Because if you compare Keith Thurman's legacy to Floyd Mayweather's, Keith Thurman is not on his level. Okay? At least not in terms of his resume, his accomplishments, as opposed to Floyd Mayweather's accomplishments. Let's see how many great black fighters Keith Thurman fights and defeats by the time he reaches his late 40s. Or, I'm sorry, his late 30s. Let's see. And I'm sure there's somebody listening right now saying to themselves, hey, I know somebody who never avoided any black fighters. I would just ask you one question if you think you do know someone. Is this fighter greater than Sugar Ray Robinson? I don't think so. But going back to Devin Alexander making these accusations that Floyd Mayweather is afraid of black fighters, it's so funny because I remember there was a time when fans were saying that Floyd Mayweather was afraid of Mexican fighters. You remember around the Margachito era when Floyd Mayweather had left Bob Arum? They were saying he was afraid of Mexican fighters. That's what the messages were. Now he's afraid of black fighters. Now he loves to fight Mexican fighters to avoid the black fighters. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Matter of fact, I remember right before Floyd Mayweather was about to fight Robert the Ghost Guerrero. You guys remember there were talks that Floyd Mayweather was possibly going to change his mind and not fight Guerrero, instead fight Devin Alexander. I remember Juan Manuel Marquez. I did a video about it, I think. Juan Manuel Marquez, he came out and he said that Floyd Mayweather is going to avoid Robert Guerrero and he's going to decide to fight Devin Alexander instead. Why? Because Floyd Mayweather is afraid of aggressive fighters. He's afraid of aggressive fighters that come forward that are bigger than him, so on and so forth. So he's going to take the easy way out and fight Devin Alexander. How crazy is that, right? So Juan Marquez was saying the exact opposite of what Devin Alexander was saying. The way Floyd Mayweather is treated It kind of reminds me of the way the president is treated, President Obama, by the Republicans, right? I remember when Obama first became president, the Republicans tried to scare people by saying that Obama was a racist Christian because of his relationship with Reverend Wright. Then when that didn't work, they completely flipped it, and then they start calling him a Muslim. So he went from being a Christian to a Muslim like almost overnight, basically trying to find something that sticks. This is exactly what they do with Floyd Mayweather. And for the 1,000th time, you guys cannot have it both ways. You guys can't use black fighters as ammo to defame or condemn Floyd Mayweather, but then at the same time, you say that those same black fighters don't deserve to fight fighters like Golovkin. Those black fighters should go and fight someone else and leave Golovkin alone. You guys can't have it both ways. Now, I'll close with this. Now, I haven't confirmed this yet, but a couple people have told me that Nicholas Walters is already using excuses for why he would not fight the pound for pound Guillermo Rigondeaux. If this is true, then you have another fighter who is avoiding black fighters. Okay? Now, what's so crazy about this news, if it's true, is soon as Nicholas Walters knocked out Donaire, fans immediately start accusing Guillermo Rigo of being afraid of the new boogeyman, Nicholas Walters. It would be really crazy if this news is true and it turns out the bigger, much stronger Nicholas Walters is actually avoiding the smaller Guillermo Rigo. We know what time it is, guys. We know that the most avoided fighters today are Guillermo Rigo, Andre Ward, and Keith Thurman. Okay? Now, it's one thing to be on top of the mountain and having young, hungry lions coming after your spot, right? But when the guy on top of the mountain is chasing the young, hungry lions, there's something seriously wrong with this picture. Because it's not supposed to work that way. That's pretty much all I got, guys. For everyone that made it to the end of this video, thanks for watching. I'm on to the next one.